This is a hard game to bet because I want to bet Colorado plus 21 just because I am a fan of Coach Prime, but I don't feel like that's necessarily the right side of the line. I think Oregon's going to win in the trenches. But one thing that I do like is Bucky Irvin to go over 101.5 rushing plus receiving yards for Oregon. Colorado's in their first legitimate test, and I do think they're going to struggle a little bit, especially in the trenches. I think Oregon's going to be able to run the football. Bo Nix's passing yards is well over 300, and I do think he hits this number, but Oregon's a multifaceted football team. I mean, they could easily run the ball all over Colorado. As I was saying, they have that advantage on the offensive line. The Buffaloes can hang in the secondary, so that's one thing to note. It's going to be tougher without Travis Hunter, but I still believe they're going to pound the rocks. That's where Irvin comes into play here. This is a very low total for him, especially in this game where Oregon's going to be looking to score as many points as possible. The Buffaloes are allowing 460 yards per game. I mean, he can hit this on a few explosive carries. I also think he's going to be used as a weapon out of the backfield. Again, Colorado very good in the secondary. They have a lot of athletes there, so if they can get the plays out of the backfield for Oregon, I think they can break some yards there. So I like Bucky Irvin to go over 101.5. I do think he's going to pound the rock. I think that's where the majority of the runs are going to come from, or the majority of the yards here. But I think he can be successful in the passing game as well. So I'm going to be looking at the under 55.5 here. This is too good to resist. Last time these teams played last September, 21-10 victory for Ohio State. This is obviously a different Irish team with Sam Hartman playing quarterback. They do have the ability to throw the ball down the field, but I think this game's going to follow a similar trajectory. I think Notre Dame can have the lead going into the half. And for the Irish to play in this game, they really got to keep the scoring down. They got to dominate the trenches. I think that's the kind of game we're going to see here. Neither team has faced any legit competition this season. I think we're going to get a slow start just because this is a huge game for both sides. They each need this win. We're not going to see a lot of risk-taking from the coordinators early in this one. It's going to be a defensive battle, a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of punts. The Buckeyes allowed just 223 yards per game. Notre Dame's allowing 234. Ohio State averages under 100 yards on the ground, which is going to give this Irish offensive line a lot to handle. I think that's been a big spotlight for this team, the ability to run the football and the ability to beat people up in the trenches. But Ohio State has an NFL caliber front seven, which is going to make it really hard here. Notre Dame's best bet in this game is shutting down Marvin Harrison Jr. over the top. If they can do that and be tight in the secondary, I do think Ohio State's going to take the runs and take the layups and the short passes here. Again, another reason pointing to the under here. Just so many reasons to go the under. With all the offensive strategy, defensive strategy we're going to see in this game. So I think it's going to be a tight contest. We might see some fireworks down the stretch here, but at that point, I don't think we'll be anywhere near that 55-point total. So there's reasons to be concerned about betting on Florida State in this spot because they haven't shown consistency this season. Now, Clemson, forgot about the transfer portal. They forgot about NIL. Dabo Swinney, I don't know if we can bet on him either here, but I do like Florida State, even though they are inconsistent, just because they have a lot more explosive ability. There's a lot more upside there. We look at Florida State's season so far. They came out on top against LSU, looked really bad in the first half of that game. They were trying to lose the game almost, but they stayed in it. They came out on fire in the second half. They dominated Southern Miss and then survived against Boston College. Everyone's talking about the Boston College game, saying this is not a great Florida State team. They were going to get exposed. They're probably going to expose this weekend. But the fact of the matter is that was the red bandana game for Boston College. Those kids are ready to run through a brick wall when they have that game. So I'm going to put that one aside. It was a tough spot. It was a windy day in Boston. Clemson lost 28-7 to Duke in their season opener. Unacceptable. I think Duke's a good team, but Clemson is better. They just didn't show up in that one. I think Clemson's going to get better and better as the season goes on. They do have a legitimate defense. It's going to take them a while to score. But when I look at this game overall, I think Jordan Travis down the stretch is that guy that we need to watch. He can make big throws in crunch time. He's proven that this season. Florida State may need a game-winning drive in this one. It's probably a good game to live bet because it might be an opportunity for Clemson to go up and you can get some points with Florida State here and get them as a dog. But I do think Travis delivers down the stretch and they find a way to win. Clemson's offense not necessarily up to par. I think we're going to see some explosive plays on both sides, but it's going to come down to Florida State in the fourth quarter. And overall, it's a better team. They know how to win. They've proven how to win. Even though they've had some tough games, I still like them here in the spot.